Hey everyone, and welcome. So today we're going to tackle a topic that can seem, well, pretty intimidating, but is totally achievable: learning Mandarin Chinese. We're going to lay out the complete roadmap for you, from your very first sound all the way up to fluency. You've probably heard the stories, right? All that talk about 4 different tones, thousands of super complex characters. It's got this reputation that honestly makes a lot of people think it's just way too hard to even try. But here's the thing. What if that reputation is just a little overblown? I love this quote from our source material from language expert Zoe. It says, "They just wanted to scare you." And you know what? The truth is, with the right guide and a solid plan, Mandarin is absolutely within your reach. All right, so let's really get into it. We're going to completely dismantle this idea that Mandarin is too hard by giving you a clear step-by-step plan. And to make it all make sense, we're going to use the official HSK framework as our guide. So what even is the HSK? Well, basically, it's the standard test for anyone who's not a native speaker, and it's broken down really neatly into 6 levels, from absolute beginner all the way to advanced. And that structure, it gives us the perfect roadmap for our journey to fluency. All right, let's talk about the very beginning, your first 2 weeks. Now look, these first 2 weeks are maybe the most important part of the whole journey. If you get this part right, you are setting yourself up for some serious success down the line. Now, the big temptation is to just start memorizing words, right? But you gotta resist that. In week 1, your entire focus, 100%, should be on the sounds of the language. That means mastering Pinyin and those 4 tones. Then, in week 2, you're going to switch gears and learn the building blocks of the characters, which are called radicals. Okay, this is a really fundamental thing to get your head around. On one side, you've got Pinyin. Think of this as your pronunciation guide. It's so clever because it uses the alphabet we already know to help you speak correctly right from day 1. And on the other side, you've got Hanzi. Those are the actual characters that make up the written language. You're going to need both, but the journey always starts with mastering the sounds first. And that's why radicals are your focus for week 2. Think about it like this. Instead of trying to memorize thousands of unique pictures from scratch, you just learn about 55 of these common building blocks. Once you can spot these little guys inside bigger characters, learning new words becomes so much easier. Seriously, it's like a cheat code for learning Hanzi. So, once you've got that foundation locked down, you're ready to really start moving. Let's take a look at the beginner levels, HSK 1 through 3, and see how this journey takes you from your very first words to actually having a basic conversation. So, here's what a typical daily plan could look like. And the first thing you'll probably notice is you're not studying for like 8 hours a day. It's all about consistent, focused work. 30 minutes for writing, 15 for flashcards, 20 for listening, and just 10 for grammar. These small, manageable chunks, that's the real secret to building a habit that actually sticks. Okay, so when you hit HSK level 3, this is a huge moment. This is a massive milestone. You're not just memorizing words from a list anymore. You can actually handle basic everyday conversations. And this is where the fun really begins, because now you can start to truly immerse yourself in the language. And look, immersion doesn't mean you have to pack your bags and move to Beijing. It can be as simple as listening to some beginner podcasts, finding some Mandarin pop artists on Spotify, or maybe watching some of those big Chinese singing competition shows. And here's a pro tip. A lot of these shows actually put the lyrics right on the screen, which is just fantastic practice for your reading. Okay, ready to level up? Let's talk about the intermediate stage, which covers HSK 4 and 5. At this point, your focus starts to shift. You go from actively learning all the rules to more passively absorbing the language just by consuming real-world stuff. And I've got some really good news for you here. According to our source material, the hardest part of the whole journey, it's already behind you. At this stage, you're not really learning brand new concepts. Instead, you're basically just taking puzzle pieces you already know, those radicals and characters, and putting them together in new and more complex ways. So what does this next level of immersion look like? Well, you can graduate to more advanced podcasts, or you could start watching popular comedies, kind of like the Chinese equivalent of Friends. You can even tackle some dramas that get into modern social issues. And you gotta check out Bilibili. It's kind of like China's version of YouTube, and you can find content on literally any topic you're into. And that brings us to the final climb, HSK 6. This is the advanced level, and it's all about achieving true fluency by really, truly living inside the language. Consuming content that was made by native speakers for native speakers. At this point, the whole world of Chinese content just opens up to you. You can watch fascinating documentaries. You can follow along with these fast-paced debate shows. You can get the cultural jokes in stand-up comedy, and you can even jump into the comment sections on social media. You're not just a student anymore. You're an active participant. So, we've laid out this entire roadmap from day one to total fluency. But what's the big secret here? What's the one thing you really need to take away from all this? Well, I'll tell you this. It's not about speed. It's all about understanding that learning a language like Mandarin, it really is a marathon, not a sprint. Every single small, consistent step you take just builds on the last one, and that creates this incredible momentum over time. You know, the source material really puts it best. Take it slow and steady to win the race. Passion, discipline, and yeah, most of all, consistency. That's what's going to carry you over that finish line to fluency. So now that you've seen the entire path, from the very first sound all the way to full immersion, there's really only one question left to ask. What's your first word going to be?